The story starts in the 1970s Harlem, a tough place where poverty and violence were the harsh realities people faced daily. To survive, many turned to the streets. One of these survivors was Melvin, a man who climbed the ranks as a dealer in Harlem. But Melvin lived a double life. On the streets, he risked his freedom and his life. At home, however, he was a family man who provided for his wife and 2 children. Despite the chaos of Harlem, Melvin and his wife managed to shelter their kids from the dangers outside. Sadly, in the mid-1970s, Melvin's life came to a tragic end during a deal gone wrong. On paper, he was just another statistic, one of thousands lost to the unforgiving streets of New York City. But to his son Sean, he was everything. When Melvin died, Sean was still in elementary school. His mother, hoping to protect him from the harsh truth, told him it was a car accident that had taken his father's life. Determined to shield her son from further trauma, she moved the family to Mount Vernon, a suburban town outside of the city. In the 6th grade, Sean enrolled in a private Catholic school. For many kids, moving from the inner city to a private school could be a challenge, but not for young Sean Combs. Bright, charismatic, and a natural-born leader, Sean thrived in his new environment and stood out among his wealthier classmates. After graduating high school with impressive grades, Sean earned a spot at the prestigious Howard University. At Howard, Sean became a star in every sense. He joined a fraternity and quickly became known for throwing some of the best parties in Washington, D.C. But Sean wasn't just a social butterfly, he was also a budding entrepreneur. He started a cab service to safely drive drunk students home after parties, proving that his business instincts were sharp. Everyone around him knew he was destined for greatness. All Sean needed was the right opportunity. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. That opportunity came sooner than expected. In 1989, after his freshman year at Howard, Sean returned to Mount Vernon and reconnected with his childhood friend, Dwight Myers, better known as Heavy D. Heavy D had always been like a big brother to Sean, mentoring him in many ways. By 1989, Heavy D had already secured a major deal with Uptown Records, a growing music label owned by the respected mogul Andre Harrell. Seeing Sean's potential, Heavy D introduced him. Andre immediately took a liking to the young Combs, recognizing his drive and hunger for success. In the summer of 1989, Sean was hired as an intern at Uptown Records. This opportunity was a dream come true for a college freshman. However, as summer ended, a dilemma arose. Sean had to return to Howard University in D.C. Andre didn't want to lose him and tried to convince him to drop out and stay with the label full-time. But Sean's mother insisted that he continue his education. They reached a compromise. Twice a week, Sean would take a 4-hour train ride from D.C. to New York to intern at Uptown Records. For months, Sean juggled school and work, spending 16 hours a week just commuting. The effort seemed excessive, but it demonstrated his dedication. Andre Harrell decided it was time to offer him a permanent position. In exchange for dropping out of college, Sean was given a full-time role, and at just 20 years old, he was promoted to Vice President of Uptown Records. It was an unprecedented move. Many wondered, how could a 20-year-old rise so quickly in one of the most competitive industries? Sean's rapid growth mirrored Andre's own story. Years earlier, Andre had been a college student from the Bronx with dreams of working in the music business. He was discovered by Clive Davis, the legendary music mogul who founded Arista Records. Davis, one of the first major industry figures to come out as gay, had taken a particular interest in him. He founded Uptown Records in 1985 and began signing talent, including heavy D speculation, soon arose about the nature of these relationships. Jaguar Wright, a former assistant, suggested that a power dynamic might have been at play, with influential figures like Davis exploiting young talent in exchange for opportunities. Rumors circulated that the same dynamic could have extended to Sean Combs, with suggestions that he performed favors for Harrell and Davis to advance his career. Wright even hinted that Harrell's assistant, Kim Porter, had witnessed some of these interactions. Whether or not these rumors are true remains a mystery, but one thing is certain. Sean's career took off. As vice president of Uptown, he was determined to make his mark. In 1991, he discovered his first star, Craig Mack, an MC from Long Island. Mack's success was a promising start, but Sean wanted more. While flipping through the Source magazine, Sean came across a rapper featured in the unsigned hype section, Notorious B.I.G. Intrigued, Sean reached out to Biggie in March of 1992 and invited him to the studio. Blown away by his raw talent, Sean signed Biggie to Uptown Records. Everything seemed to be falling into place until trouble arose. In the fall of 1992, Biggie completed his debut album, Ready to Die, but Uptown's parent company refused to release it, citing the album's explicit content. Frustrated, Sean protested the decision, which led to him being fired from Uptown Records years later that year. It was a crushing blow. Sean had lost his dream job at just 23 years old. However, instead of giving up, he bounced back almost immediately. Within a month, he founded Bad Boy Records. Unable to fund it himself, Sean secured a partnership with Arista Records. The very company run by Clive Davis. This sparked new speculation. How did Sean get his own label so quickly after being fired? Was it, as Jaguar Wright suggested, part of the same cycle of exploitation? Had Sean gone over Andre Harrell's head to work directly with Clive Davis? Whether the rumors are true or not, one fact is undeniable. Uptown's artists were released from their contracts, allowing Sean to sign both Biggie and Craig Mack under his new label. With full control over his artists, Sean was ready to make his mark on the music industry under his new alias. Puff Daddy. A nickname given by his mother because he used to huff and puff when he got mad, Sean launched Bad Boy Records. In July 1994, Bad Boy released its first major album, Craig Mack's Flavor in Your Ear. The album was an instant hit, setting the stage for Puff Daddy and Bad Boy Records to become a dominant force in hip-hop. Bad Boy Entertainment made its debut in the music industry, and just 2 months later, Biggie Small's first album, Ready to Die, was released. Both projects achieved significant success, and Puff Daddy was eager to maintain the momentum. Therefore, only 2 weeks after Biggie's album launch, Bad Boy put out Craig Mack's second album, Funk Da World. Puff was on a roll, continually looking to recruit more talent. His growing influence in the industry attracted attention from other music moguls seeking his counsel. In 1992, in Atlanta, Georgia, music executive L.A. Reid discovered a 13-year-old singer Usher Raymond in a local talent show. Recognizing his potential, L.A. Reid signed him to his label, LaFace Records, when Usher was just 13 years old. Notably, LaFace was part of the Arista Records umbrella, which is significant. To prepare Usher for his music career, he was sent to live with Puff Daddy. This arrangement, known as Puffy's Flavor Camp, was intended for Puff to mentor Usher and guide him in the right direction. Usher recalls his time living with Puff in New York City, where he experienced a lifestyle that was both fascinating and bewildering. He was immersed in the vibrant world of music and celebrity, but struggled to fully grasp what he was witnessing. Although he encountered various artists like Biggie, Lil' Kim, and Craig Mack, he had mixed feelings about the chaotic environment. Usher humorously described how, at just 14 years old, he was exposed to a world of parties and late nights, but he also recognized the potential pitfalls that came with it. Some have speculated that Usher was one of Puffy's first victims in a rumored power ritual, although there's no substantial evidence to support this claim. In a lighthearted moment, Puff recalled wrestling with his brother over Frosted Flakes, highlighting the contrast between their childhood and his current status as one of the wealthiest figures in the industry. Despite the entertaining anecdotes, there's a darker side to Puff's rise. He quickly developed a reputation for wanting total control over the artists under his label. In 1995, Craig Mack sought to release his third album, Operation Get Down. However, when he approached Puff with the project, things took an unexpected turn. Puff allegedly insisted that Craig fire his longtime manager and hire someone from Bad Boy instead. Craig, loyal to his manager, refused, leading to a rift between him and Puff. Frustrated by Craig's defiance, Puff stopped paying him and refused to release his music, leaving Craig feeling betrayed despite having been one of Puff's first artists. In a tense interview, the disbelief on Craig's face was evident as he realized Puff had misrepresented the situation. As tensions grew, Craig felt increasingly threatened, even going so far as to carry a firearm for protection. He knew the lengths Puff would go to maintain control and felt he had to protect himself. The situation escalated further when Craig suspected that Puff had set him up. In a risky move, he surrounded himself with associates for protection. Although he managed to avoid violence, this marked a troubling turn for Puff Daddy, who was transitioning from the industry's golden child to a figure shrouded in controversy. As this internal conflict unfolded, a major external rivalry was brewing. By late 1994, Bad Boy faced competition from California's Death Row Records, particularly with Tupac Shakur emerging as a major force in hip-hop. Uptown Records producer Ron G sought to have Tupac do a verse for Biggie, which led to a $7,000 agreement for the feature. On November 30th, 1994, Tupac arrived at Quad Studios in Manhattan to collect his payment. Upon entering, he was ambushed by two masked men who attempted to rob him. In the ensuing struggle, Tupac believed Bad Boy associates had set him up, especially after he spotted Biggie and others nearby. Fortunately, Tupac survived the attack after undergoing successful surgery. While recovering, Tupac found himself embroiled in legal troubles, leading to an 8-month sentence in Rikers Island. His incarceration fueled rumors that Bad Boy had orchestrated the robbery, especially since Puff had been inquiring about Tupac's arrival at the studio. This situation placed Puff under immense scrutiny, requiring him to clear his name amidst the growing tensions in the hip-hop community. The Tupac incident, Puff's role, and escalating feuds. Tupac's accusations against Puff Daddy in the aftermath of his shooting ignited deep distrust. After reading an article where Pac accused friends of betrayal, tensions rose. He insinuated that those he trusted, including the Bad Boy camp, had turned their backs on him. Puff tried to ease tensions by visiting Tupac at Rikers Island, insisting Bad Boy had no involvement. But doubts lingered, especially after allegations surfaced from Puff's former bodyguard, claiming Puff was aware of the setup at the Quad studio the night Pac was shot. This atmosphere worsened with Biggie's release of Who Shot Ya?, In 1995, a song many, including Pac, believed to be a diss directed at him. Pac saw this as a personal betrayal, a sign that Puff was playing both sides. This fracture became irreversible, setting the stage for the infamous East Coast-West Coast rivalry. The Source Awards and public beef. The 1995 Source Awards marked a turning point. Knight took the stage and openly mocked Puff, saying, "If any artist out there wants to stay a star, don't want to worry about an executive producer all in the videos, come to death row." This was more than just words. It was a direct challenge, escalating the rivalry between Bad Boy and Death Row Records into a full-blown feud. Violence spills over. Big Jake and the Atlanta incident. A month later, in September 1995, things got physical at Jermaine Dupri's birthday party at the Platinum House nightclub in Atlanta. Knight and his crew confronted Puff inside the club. Knight allegedly slapped Dupri to provoke Puff, grabbing him by the arm in an attempt to intimidate him. Puff's bodyguard, Wolf, intervened, leading to a brawl that spilled outside. As everyone was being escorted from the club, chaos erupted when shots were fired from across the street, creating confusion. During the commotion, Big Jake, a close friend of Knight and part of Death Row's security team, was fatally shot. Witnesses later pointed to Wolf as the shooter, further deepening the animosity between Bad Boy and Death Row. Strategic moves and West Coast connections. Despite the mounting hostility, Puff pressed forward. He planned a Bad Boy tour across the West Coast and sought protection from P.Diddy, a prominent South Side Crips member he had previously connected with. Puff's decision to align with the Crips only added to the tension, given Knight's affiliations with the rival Bloods. While the tour went smoothly, backstage confrontations at events like the Soul Train Awards kept tensions alive. Allegations of a hit on Tupac. The situation took a dark turn when P.Diddy later claimed that Puff offered him $1 million to eliminate both Suge and Tupac. According to P.Diddy, Puff made the offer during a dinner at Greenblatt's Deli on the Sunset Strip. The implication that Puff might have solicited the killing of Tupac added a dangerous layer to the feud. The night in Vegas. On September 7, 1996, Tupac was in Las Vegas to watch Mike Tyson's fight. Later that night, in the lobby of the MGM Grand, Pac encountered Orlando Anderson, a member of the Southside Crips and Keefe D's cousin. After a verbal altercation, Tupac attacked Anderson in front of witnesses. Furious, Anderson regrouped with Keefe D, and they received a call from an associate of Puff named Eric Von Zip. The events of that night were set in motion, ultimately leading to Tupac's tragic murder. This moment became the catalyst for a series of events that would forever alter the hip-hop world. The night of Tupac's tragic shooting began after a hyped Mike Tyson fight. Tupac and Knight left the arena in black BMW 7 Series. As fate would have it, they stopped at a red light on Las Vegas Boulevard, right next to Orlando Anderson and his crew. Some fans noticed Tupac in the car and began shouting his name. At that moment, Anderson's car pulled alongside, and what happened next became a grim chapter in hip-hop history. The world's biggest rap star was critically injured. Five days later, on September 13, 1996, Tupac Shakur was declared dead. Speculation ran wild. Everyone wanted answers, but no witnesses came forward. This is where things get complicated. Keefe D. Orlando Anderson's uncle later claimed that Sean Puff Daddy Combs had called him after the shooting. Allegedly, Puff asked, "Was that us?" and promised a $1 million reward. According to Keefe, the money was sent to Zip, a mutual acquaintance, but Keefe never saw a dime. In his own words, Zip kept that check for himself. If true, Keefe believes this twist saved Combs from a conspiracy charge, as no money was exchanged directly. The question remains, was Diddy truly behind Tupac's murder? Keefe blames him, saying, "If I had never met Puff, I wouldn't have been involved." However, many argue that Tupac himself triggered the situation by attacking Anderson earlier that night. Regardless, Puff has always denied any involvement, once dismissing the theories as nonsense not worth entertaining. Following Tupac's death, tensions between the East and West Coasts escalated. Bad boy artists were warned to avoid California, but despite the danger, Diddy pressured Biggie Smalls to attend the 1997 Soul Train Awards in Los Angeles. Biggie, recovering from a broken femur, was hesitant to go. Even after the awards show, he tried to leave for London, where a major international press event was planned by his label. However, Diddy allegedly intervened, telling Clive Davis to cancel Biggie's trip, insisting he stay for a party in LA. Friends of Biggie warned that trouble was brewing. Security guard Gene Deal reported hearing threats. Deal recalled telling Puff, "They're coming to kill us tonight." Puff, however, brushed it off, saying, "You don't have to go if you're scared." After the party, Biggie left with his entourage, including Lil Cease and his driver. Around 12:45 a.m., while waiting at a red light on Fairfax and Wilshire, a Chevy Impala pulled up beside them. Moments later, gunfire erupted, and Biggie was fatally shot. Shockingly, Puff left for San Diego just 2 hours after Biggie's death, raising suspicions. Gene Deal later speculated that Diddy may have sacrificed Biggie to protect his own interests in the West Coast feud. Puff knew the beef was real, and he put Big in harm's way. While some believe that Diddy's actions were calculated, others point to his public grief as evidence of his innocence. After Biggie's death, Puff released heartfelt tributes and spoke emotionally in interviews. "It wasn't supposed to be like this," he once said, struggling to express his sorrow. Yet Biggie's sudden death and Puff's swift departure from LA still leave questions unanswered. The Bad Boy's top artist later distanced himself from Diddy, leaving music to become a pastor. His departure was another blow to Bad Boy Records, but Puff quickly rebuilt, showing his knack for surviving in the unforgiving music industry. Puffy and the Rise of Shine, a complicated partnership. In 1998, Sean Puffy Combs discovered a young rapper from East Flatbush named Shine. Brought to his attention by DJ Clark Kent, Puffy was instantly impressed and signed Shine to a lucrative deal. The contract included millions of dollars, luxury cars, and even 2 homes. Shine became Puffy's newest protege, and the two quickly formed a tight-knit bond, with Shine accompanying Puffy everywhere. It seemed like Puffy had found an artist he wouldn't fall out with, though some would later wonder if Combs' character ever really changed. The Club New York incident, a night of chaos. On December 27, 1999, just before Shine's debut album was set to launch, Puffy decided to celebrate at Club New York in Times Square. With him were his bodyguard Wolf, actress and singer Jennifer Lopez, and of course Shine. The night took a dark turn when Puffy accidentally bumped into Matthew "Scar" Allen, a notorious street figure from Brooklyn. Scar didn't take the slight lightly and began yelling at Puffy, even going so far as to threaten both him and Shine. Witnesses reported that Scar made a move toward his waistband. Whether to grab a weapon or as a threat, no one knew for sure. What followed was chaos. Shots were fired, people scrambled, and 3 individuals ended up injured. By the next morning, both Puffy and Shine were under arrest. Scar, playing to his advantage, told authorities that both men had intentionally targeted him, shifting the legal spotlight firmly on them. Trials, betrayal, and diverging fates. Facing severe legal trouble, Puffy spared no expense, hiring 2 of the nation's top defense attorneys, Johnny Cochran and Benjamin Braffman. Meanwhile, Shine didn't receive the same level of support. Although he admitted to firing a shot in the air, Shine insisted he was not responsible for the injuries. The jury saw it differently. Shine was sentenced to 9 years in prison. To Shine, the trial represented betrayal. He believed he had saved Puffy's life that night, but felt abandoned by his mentor during the legal proceedings. Some reports suggested that Puffy even sent witnesses to testify against Shine, further fueling the tension. In a post-trial interview, Shine expressed his frustration, saying, "You don't have to hold my hand, but don't send people to do me dirty." Some speculate that Puffy sacrificed Shine to protect himself. Whether that's true or not, Puffy emerged from the trial unscathed, and soon after, he reinvented himself as P.Diddy, distancing from his past persona. The next chapter: new talent and controversial stories. Following the trial, Puffy needed fresh talent for Bad Boy Records, given the losses of key figures like Biggie Smalls and Craig Mack. He reportedly tried to recruit rapper 50 Cent and West Coast rapper Xzibit, though these efforts involved strange interactions that raised eyebrows. Rumors about Puffy's personal life also resurfaced. One of the most shocking claims came from singer Jaguar Wright, who recounted a disturbing story involving R&B artist Christopher Williams. Wright alleged that a lawyer working for Bad Boy walked into Puffy's office and witnessed an inappropriate situation involving Williams. While these are only rumors, they highlight the cloud of controversy that has long surrounded Puffy's career. A tumultuous personal life, Kim Porter, and control issues. In 1994, Puffy entered a relationship with Kim Porter, who was previously married to singer Al B. Sure, and shared a son named Quincy. Puffy adopted Quincy and had children with Kim, but their relationship was rocky and marked by control issues. Those close to the couple claimed that Puffy was manipulative and abusive toward Kim. Despite several breakups, the two remained connected over the years. When the relationship officially ended in the early 2000s, Puffy struggled with Kim moving on. According to sources, he allegedly tapped her phone to monitor her conversations, becoming enraged when he discovered she was speaking with Shakir Stewart, an influential music executive. Reports suggest that Puffy tracked down Stewart and assaulted him during an LA Reid party. Worse still, it's rumored that Puffy also physically harmed Kim, allegedly breaking her nose in a violent outburst. Publicly, the incident was downplayed, with claims that Kim had slipped and fallen, but some insiders believe the truth was much darker. Diddy's World. The mysteries and controversies. In the years following his rise to fame, Diddy has been connected to a string of unsettling events, many involving those closest to him. While these situations are steeped in speculation, they raise compelling questions. The tragic death of Shakir Stewart, 2008. On November 1, 2008, Shakir Stewart, a respected record executive, was found dead in his Georgia home. Reports from his friends suggest that Shakir seemed paranoid and disturbed in the days before his death. He allegedly believed someone was following him, often peeking out of windows. His death remains an enigma, fueling speculation about unseen pressures or threats. The toxic relationship with Cassie Ventura. Diddy's relationship with Cassie Ventura began in 2007. At just 20 years old, she became romantically involved with the 38-year-old mogul. While the public saw them as the perfect couple, Cassie later revealed that her experience was anything but glamorous. She claimed Diddy was violent, controlling, and even forced her into intimate encounters with other men while he observed. After a brief separation in 2012, Cassie started dating Katie. However, Diddy's jealousy allegedly reached dangerous levels. Cassie later claimed Diddy threatened to blow up Katie's car, and strangely, Katie's vehicle indeed caught fire soon afterward. Katie himself confirmed this eerie incident. In another bizarre event, Diddy reportedly barged into a studio session where Cassie was recording with a rapper known as Wale. Allegedly, Diddy's security team even dangled Wale over a balcony, further illustrating his extreme possessiveness. Cassie eventually broke free from the relationship in 2018. However, the emotional toll and trauma of their time together lingered. The sudden death of Kim Porter, 2018. 1 month after Cassie left Diddy, Kim Porter, Diddy's ex-partner and mother of his children, was found dead in her Los Angeles home. Initial reports suggested she passed from pneumonia, but the official ruling took months, leaving many suspicious. Rumors swirled that Kim had been writing a tell-all book about her relationship with Diddy, adding another layer of intrigue to her sudden death. Some individuals, like Jaguar Wright, even alleged that the initial coroner's report listed her death as a homicide, only for it to be reclassified later. Celebrity coroner Ed Winter, who was asked to investigate, passed away from a heart attack before the case could be reopened. These details have fueled theories that Kim's death was not as straightforward as it appeared. Andre mysterious passing, 2020. In May 2020, Andre Harrell, the legendary music executive who gave Diddy his start, was found dead in his Hollywood Hills home. His death was officially attributed to heart failure, but some suspect foul play, especially since Harrell had reportedly been working on a memoir at the time. Rumors also suggest tension between Diddy and Harrell over their past professional relationship. Al B. Sure's health scare. Al B. Sure, Kim Porter's ex and the father of her oldest son, experienced a severe medical emergency, mysteriously collapsing and falling into a coma. He later hinted that his health issues might not have been entirely natural. At the time, Al B. Sure was reportedly working on a documentary about his life in Uptown Records, adding to the list of unsettling coincidences surrounding those connected to Diddy. Is it all just coincidence? From tragic deaths to eerie health scares, a troubling pattern seems to follow those connected to Diddy. Whether it's the violent confrontations involving artists, the untimely deaths of key figures like Kim Porter and Andre Harrell, or the chilling incident with P.Diddy, questions linger. In each case, Diddy has emerged relatively unscathed, leaving many to wonder. Are these events simply tragic coincidences, or is there something more sinister at play? The truth remains elusive, and it's up to the public to decide what to believe. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.